What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Import Modify. So as you heard before, I told you that I had a shopmate here, and I always told you guys about him, but y'all never got to meet him. His name's Eric. How do you pronounce your last name?
Steinmeier.
Stein what?
Steinmeier.
Steinmeier. Say hi to everybody. So Eric's got this nice Lincoln Electric multi-process welder here. It's got the MIG, TIG, and ARC welding capabilities. So we're practicing up on it a little bit, trying to get used to how it works. Gotta tell you, I tried to weld some of the pipe together, and I did alright. I'm definitely not as good as he is at it, but this is his weld, and then my weld. But cool, we're just farting around in the shop, practicing some welds, trying to get used to the machine. So now we got good welding capabilities over here. We'll be able to do exhaust and stuff. So I'll be able to weld a little bit on this after I get some good practicing down. Be able to start fabbing up this exhaust here in the near future. And also, back in that box up on top of the shelves over there, I have my exhaust for my white M3. And they sent me that exhaust. I ordered one for a sedan, but they sent me one for a coupe. And I tried to return it, but they never answered me back and everything. I got too impatient and ended up cutting the exhaust trying to get it to fit. And of course that voided my warranty on it. So I always said when I got a good welder, I would go ahead and, you know, fabricate it and get it to fit on my M3 exhaust for my white sedan. So that's going to be in the near future. We're going to do that since we got welding capabilities now. And this is his drag car. Here's his badass intake manifold that he got for it. Also, I got a package in today, and I'll go ahead and open it up for you real quick. Cool, I got me some billet levers from my RC51 bike here. And these bad boys are going to be replacing these old funky stock ones. Thanks for buying the welder.
It's for me.
I'm going to play with it too. Yeah, cool, man. Well, everybody, this is Eric. So you got a face with the name. He's going to be building his drag car. He's been having it for a while. What, 6 years you've been having it for, you said?
Oh, I've had it since it was new. I bought this thing off the showroom floor, but I haven't driven it in 6 years.
He hasn't driven it in 6 years. This is his badass intake manifold he's got. He's got dual stage injectors on this thing, and it flows, what, 2,000 cc's together?
Totally.
Total of 2,000 cc's with both of them engaged. And you're hoping to shoot for the 8-second quarter mile with this thing?
Yeah, about 860.
About 860 is what he's looking for.
It's a Weldon 2345A that'll pump it.
That's his fuel pump right there. And that thing is capable of supporting 2,000 horsepower.
2,800.
2,800 horsepower rated fuel pump right there.
This is...
That's broken.
Fuel pressure regulator. We'll find out if it's broken later. I think you got a filter here somewhere.
And this was your old turbo that was on it, right?
No, that was never on it. That's a mock-up turbo I've yet to put on it.
Is that how big the turbo is that you're gonna have on it?
Exact same size, actually.
Exact same size turbo. He uses this one from mock-up. That's about half the size of the block.
Yeah, let's go compare.
It's about half the size of the frickin' block of the engine.
Yep, about half the size of the block.
Half the size of the frickin' block. And what horsepower numbers are you shooting for on this thing?
Somewhere between 10,000 Or 1,050 and 1,100.
Okay, so he's shooting for 1,050 to 1,100 horsepower out of this thing, which is crazy out of a freaking Dodge Neon. Now this is a whole different level than anything I've ever built and messed with. I've never ever in my life built such a high horsepower engine to play with. I'm always just kind of tinkered around with cheaper stuff like on the BMW and what I'm gonna do with the 300, but
oh, I can't find that filter. That's the intercooler.
He's got a water to air intercooler system
with a nice tank. Oh, there it is. It's under here. This. Surprisingly light considering it's so big.
That is a beautiful piece right there. That thing is just gorgeous.
The gas tank.
Gas tank. Now at 1,050 to 1,100 horsepower, and you make that thing being full, and you make a quarter-mile pass.
It'll be empty.
It'll be empty in one pass.
Well, mostly empty. There's the fuel filter. Vector Dynamics fuel filter. This is a gauge that'll tell you the contamination level of it.
Nice.
And it's a replaceable element.
All right, I'm gonna install these levers on the bike real quick, and it's just a simple flathead bolt up on top, 10 millimeter right there on the bottom. I'm gonna take those off and just replace these in its place. So let's go ahead and mount these up real quick. This piece right here has an insert that goes into the master cylinder for the clutch. And it's just this insert right here. It's got a hole on one end. You insert this piece like so. That's how that works. Alright, so this is what the end result looks like. It's got the quick adjusters on it. It's your clutch right here. Cool thing about this bike too, it has a hydraulic clutch. Most of the bikes I've messed with, they have the cable clutches. This thing's actually hydraulic, so I thought that was pretty cool design on this bike. And they even got the steel braided line for the clutch as well. Saves me money. But that looks way better. That is a lot better now. I like the way that looks. So he's trying to drain the condensation that's built up in the air compressor tank, and there's obviously a big chunk somewhere in there. There he goes. And it clogged on him and has been, there you go. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's how much condensation is in that tank. I haven't drained it since I got the compressor. Wow. It's all over the wall? That'll be fine. I'll just take some water and rinse it. I don't want it to get me, but yeah.
Better go find some paper towels.
Dude, look. It's got like a little pyramid of muck. You see it? Oh, it's gone. So he asked me if I ever drained the tank, and I said no, I haven't since I bought it. And I told him, don't do it in here. And he opens it up right here, and it made a huge mess. I mean, we mopped it up and put floor dry on it, but it's all right here is what we cleaned up. So we have a nice stained concrete right there. Then he goes outside to do it, and he opens it up and it splatters all over his jacket and hands. I'm laughing at him the whole time. But yeah, so we got all the moisture out. He's getting everything set up on the media blaster cabinet, and he also picked up a welding table with the magnets and clamps and stuff, so we're set on welding. So he's just kind of doing a little preventive maintenance. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint some stuff for the BMW here. I got this insert right here. It goes on the bottom of the bumper. I didn't paint it because I didn't have it on at the time, but I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with this Rust-Oleum Universal Satin Primer and paint in one. And we'll see how that turns out. I'm not too picky at this point. I think it'll look better than what it is, and it'll definitely look better in there painted up. So let's go ahead and paint this up real quick, and then after we do this, I will scuff in the side mirrors and get that masked off, and then we will paint that as well. And then after it cures, we'll mount them to the vehicle. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that cure for a little bit. Alright guys, I got it all dried up now and it's painted. It's definitely a little bit glossier than what I expected, but it's satin, so we're going to go ahead and install it and see how it looks on this thing. So I got the side mirrors prepped up right now. I got things masked off. I got the mirrors masked off right there and there. I took a gray Scotch-Brite, which is for scuffing in clear. I got them nice and scuffed in. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these down and let them dry after I wipe them down, and then we're gonna spray them. But I'm unsure about which paint that I'm gonna use, because this one's a little bit duller than the one that I did in the back, and I'm gonna spray this on something and see how it cures, and I'll make my decision. And I'll spray them on this. We'll see how it looks. I'll spray this paint on that one, this paint on that stand, and we'll see exactly how it looks when it dries. Okay, so we got both of them sprayed. I'm gonna go ahead and let them dry, and then I'm gonna make my decision on which one I'm gonna use to paint the side mirrors. Alright, while we got the paint drying, these mirrors, they come with the base plate and the mirror itself. So here's the mirror, there's the base plate. It's got an indentation in it, so it fits up like that. And if you were to mount it on the vehicle, it mounts up like this, like that, and then you screw it in on the back side. And then I did keep the cover plates, the factory cover plates for it, so we'll use the factory cover plates on top of this area here whenever we have it all screwed in. But you'll notice that the base plates, they're glossy black, so I'm gonna scuff those in now as well, get these ready, and then when I decide on which of the blacks I'm gonna go with, we're gonna paint it that color. But I'm not gonna take the time to do the bed liner spray on that. As long as it's a dull black, we'll be okay. And the paint's starting to dry now. Let's see. It's not all the way dry, but okay. It looks like this satin one's definitely glossier than the other one. So I think I'm gonna go with this high performance enamel. So that's the color we're gonna go with right here, this one right there. So man, Eric really got the shop hooked up with welding. He's got the welding table right there with the magnets, the clamps. He's got the gas tank full. Nice brand new Lincoln Electric welder. I'm so stoked because it's on. I'm gonna be welding. He said, feel free to use it as much as I want. Just be mindful of his stuff, which is, you know, that's how it should be. You know, I want him to be mindful of my stuff. So feelings mutual. Eric, I will be mindful. I'll take good care of your stuff. And I'm just so excited now that I can start practicing my welds. I'm gonna get a nice big spool of stainless weld, start messing around with stainless pipes, getting my welds real good on it. And before too long, I'll be getting the mid pipe in and the rear exhaust pieces, and at that point I'll be pretty decent on my welds. It's not going to be a big deal at all. I'll be able to fabricate my own axle back exhaust to the mid pipe, and man, cool deal. Alright, I got the base plates mounted to the side mirrors, and I think I nailed it. I think I picked the right paint to paint this. The satin would have been too glossy. This high performance enamel black is dull enough that it blends in evenly with the rest of the car, and it's real dusty. So, but anyway, just to give you an idea of how it's gonna look. Just like that. And as you can tell, the paint matches up pretty good. And I like how it's got the M3 look on that little sport air dam that goes through there. But looking sideways at it, it just looks like it all blends in very well. But I ran into a problem. I can't find the bolts that mounted the factory side mirrors. There's two tabs right here, this one and this one, and they mount on through here. Obviously it pushes up against here, and then you have two bolt holes right there, but the tabs don't meet all the way to the frame. There's like an air gap of about that much. So I have to sort out some screws or bolts that'll make that work, and right now I can't find any. So I'm gonna dig around a little bit more, see if I can find some. If I can't, then I'm just gonna have to come back tomorrow and get them mounted up. Not a big deal. So let me look around a little bit. If not, we'll pick off where I left off. Alright, we're back for another day. The side mirrors are all cured up. And the paint is real even and I'm very happy with it. I think that I went with the right color paint. Gives it a nice dull satin look to match the car. And the car is really dirty right now. It's all dusty from sitting in here, but that's okay. I got some fasteners to try to make this work. I ended up getting them a little too long, so I'm probably just gonna take my little cutter tool out and cut them down a little bit. We'll get the right length on them and then we'll go ahead and have these things installed. Alright guys, I got it mounted up. Success. I like these style side mirrors because it's like the style on my E46 M3. And I like them better than the E46 M3 mirrors. The shape right here is similar to the E46, but right here, this looks exactly like my E36 M3 side mirrors. And as you can tell, the paint, it pretty much matches the rest of the body. So, cool deal. I'm really happy with it. It saves me from doing bed liner coat and clear coating them later. Once you do the bed liner coat, it just there's no return. You can't repaint them or send them down again. It really bonds to the whatever you spray that bed liner onto. That's why I decided to just paint them a flat satin black. And it's really, I was questioning the mounts on it, but it turned out pretty well. Me cutting those size 12 screws, and I used the button head washers on it, and it's nice and secure. It's on there pretty solid. Now it's starting to look more and more like a complete car, step by step, little bit by little bit. Looks pretty good to me. I'm digging it. So now that we got welding capabilities over here, we have a welding table, we got clamps, we have the magnets, nice quality Lincoln Electric multi-process welder. It's gas fed, everything right here, good to go. I'm gonna practice on my welding later, and then whenever I get the mid pipe in, I'll get the whatever exhaust baffle I decide to go with and tip, and then I'll make the modifications to get the axle back to mount to the mid pipe. So I'm just gonna have to customize the axle back to make it mount up to the mid pipe, and depending on how it is, I might just cut the connections off at the end because I think they're bolt on for that mid pipe. I might just cut them off and then do V-band. Alright guys, we're making good progress. One less thing on the checklist. So just got to come up with the funds now to get the drive shaft and exhaust and everything that I need to complete that. And before you know it, we'll be making rips down the road on this bad boy and seeing just how it goes. So really happy with it. Looks good. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.